Hello everyone, it's Big Mike here and welcome to Twentey Studios. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple flyer design in Adobe Photoshop. We all know we are in the World Cup season, so a client approached us with a design to work on, and initially they provided us with this concept and they actually needed something simple and better. So we are here to get it down for them. We already did the design and provided everything, and then the client really loved it. So first of all, let's start with creating our document or our workspace or our working area. So normally we use 1080 by 1350, and the resolution mostly I set it to 300, but I can also maintain it to 72. And also I normally change the name to match day to to relate with what we are doing, so match day specials. Exactly. And now we have everything. Make sure you are on the same page like mine. RGB color, everything like mine, and then we are good to go. So now let's create our document. And now we have our working area, our document area where we are going to design. So now first of all we are going to do is to create our background color. So I don't think you need this one. So you're going to create a background color. um Actually I need something much more darker like this. So somewhere, uh let's see, 140b06. I think this is fine. So somewhere this part is fine. You can copy the code over here. So this is the first step, and normally I group it to become my background color. So this is my background color, so I have to just change the name to background color. I've already told you that you need to group your items so that you'll be able to identify all your layers carefully. So now let's create another layer. We are going to add, since it's a World Cup event or World Cup setting, we are going to add an image which is more like a stadium. So I decided to download this on Pinterest, and I'll be using this background. Okay, so let's make sure it fits our page like this. Something like this is fine. And looks right now we need to blend these two together to get a nice and cool background like the initial design we are going to create. Okay, so now let's reduce the opacity of this background or this stadium to 50%. Sorry, 50%. We have something like this, but it's not quite better. And now we are going to mask our stadium. So we add a layer mask like this so that we can clean some part of this background. So we are going to use our brush tool. So you can press B on your keyboard to activate the brush tool, and or you come to this side, right click and select the brush tool. Okay, so now we make sure our foreground color is black, and we are going to brush over this area. I'm using an opacity of 62, and you can copy this preset. You're not really going to use a hard opacity levels over here, so you're just going to drag over this area to become something like this. I think this is too much, so we just have to delete the layer again and then push it more like this, because initially our image looks something like this. Yeah, so yeah, let's push it like this, somewhere like this. I think this is fine. And now let's add our layer mask again. So we just have to clean it like this. Something cool, something cool. Okay, so if you have something like this, it's quite better. Let's increase our opacity a bit. Okay, and our maintain is something like, I think this is better. Okay, So first of all, we are going to second we are going to add our subject. Okay, now we have our background, so I will leave it like this and create a new layer. Initially, when they gave me these images, actually I was thinking on what to do with this image, these two images. But looking at it carefully, I saw that now this image carries some form of urgency, like someone who is really into the football. So I zoomed in and I said, nah, this guy can be used because all these people are not really making the concept more catchy, although they are all looking at, let's say, a screen. So I decided to let this guy be the main focus. Okay, so yes, so let's head back to our design and then file. You're going to add our image, so place embedded as usual. Okay, and let me make it quite big so that we can see. Okay, so is this image? Yes. So now we have somebody like this in our image. Now let's try to um, make it bigger, small, like this. I think this is fine. Okay. Most of the times we are going to destroy this image quite a bit, but it's still going to work for us, so you don't have to worry about it. So we only need this our subject. Okay, so most of the times I'll have to duplicate our subject and now select object selection tool like this. Okay, and then draw over this subject. It's not supposed to be perfect. Okay, draw over. Our AI or our inbuilt AI in Photoshop is going to select it for us. Okay, so it will automatically select it for us like so. Okay, so now all we have to do is to duplicate our subject. But now I can see there's some the selection is not complete over here, so I can just add the selection well so that it will work for us. Okay, it's not working, so I can use quick selection tool like so. I wouldn't really use that area, so it's not really an issue. Okay, so now we have our subject over here. Yes, this guy, so we have, might not look perfect, but we are still going to make it work. So now I don't think you will need this one, so I'll just have to turn it off and bring it down. Okay, and I can even lock it because you're not going to need it. And now we are going to work on this area. So when we select our subject, we are going to work on this area because we don't need all these people. We only need the guy in motion, the guy who really wants to do something. Okay, so now let's we have already selected our background, not the subject but these people, so we can turn off this area, our subject. Let me name it as subject, okay, so that you can get it perfectly well. So subject, exactly. Oh, I didn't spell it well. It's fine. Okay, so let's zoom in, and now we are going to max this area. Okay, we're going to max this area like so, and now make sure our foreground color is black. Okay, and then we select our brush tool. Okay, so our brush tool is here, select it like this, and then I'm going to brush over these people. Okay, it's not going to affect our main subject, so something like so. It's too much, so let me take my time, brush carefully. Okay, don't need these people. Even this guy can be deleted because we have the backup. Something like this is fine. Okay, so now we have something like this, and now our subject is here. Okay, so you can see there are some lapses over here, but we are still going to make it work because we are not really going to use it much like that. So look at it, you see, so our design looks, we are not really going to use it much like that. okay, the downside, only the face and some part of the hand. So now let's go back to our design. I'm going to drag it down a bit. I think we have cleaned it too much, so we can also bring it back by selecting it, making it white, making a foreground color, right? And then it's too much, so let's reduce our opacity. Okay, I don't really need this guy. Okay, and then okay, something like this is fine. Let's see whether we are good to go. Okay, and now let's select these two, bring it down a bit. Something like this is fine. Let's try to increase the size a bit. Okay, so now let's still clean all these things because we still don't need them, but I want to see that small light over here. Okay, this lady can be there a bit, and sorry. Okay, don't really need much. Okay, there are still some lines to work on. Okay, let's clean it. Okay, good. So this is fine. So now after this, we are going to, you can even delete this because you're not going to need it anymore. So let's group and make it subject. So this is our subject. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to create a new layer. I'm going to add our text, and the caption is match day specials. Okay, so match day specials, going to type it out, match day specials, something like this. Let's try and make it white so that you can see it clearly. You can see that this font is not really good, so I decided to go for much more active font, not that boring. So the font I used was Magnum. Okay, Magnum font. The this is too close, so I'll just have to change it to 0, and also let me increase the font a bit. So let's say 38.6. So okay, this is fine. And now we are going to change the color, and there's a color. I already copied the color, so you just have to copy the color, 1FF and 4E, so 3Fs and 4E. Okay, you're going to copy like this. Okay, so now you just have to select the specials, okay, and click on the color using the eyedropper tool, and now we are good. So like this. Okay, and now we are going to align our text to the center. Okay, center text until like this is fine. Let's bring it back to the center again. Okay, and now let's try and close this guy. No, let's try and close this guy a bit. Okay, now you can see that our text looks much more like this, curves and goes on. So we are going to warp our text. Okay, so there's something when we press the Ctrl T, we're going to see this symbol over here. When you click on this symbol, it's going to open this drop down for us. Okay, so these are few effects that you can add to your text. If you want it to wavy, if you want it any way you want, you can work on that. But this time I'm going to use bulge. Okay, so bulge is here. Let's bring it down a bit, and now I'm going to, you see this point over here, I'm going to just click and drag to the downside, something like so. Oh, this is fine. Okay, and after that I'll click on the commit to commit. Okay, so we have something like this. You can see that it's almost the same way as this. Okay, So this is what we have. Let's try and bring this one back a bit. Okay, something like this is good. Match day specials. Can close it a bit. Okay, and now we are good. Okay, so we can see that we are in a good shape now. Okay, so now the company that wants this design is called Tails Beach Resort. You can also contact them. They work with beach resorts, and you can get some cool place to have fun during the weekends, during the week, whatever. Okay, so now we place our logo on top of the match day special like this, and then let's create an overlay color to white so that we can see their logo well. So you can search down on Google Hotels Beach Resort. They have a perfect service for you. Okay, so let's increase our day specials a bit. Something like this is fine. Let's make sure it's centered. Let's make sure also this one is centered. So now let's group this and make it heading or title. Okay, now we are going to add the other text to it, but now you can see that we still need to clear some part of this image to make it much more better. So let's click on our image like this, go to our subject, convert to a smart object. Okay, because we don't want to lose some part of this design or this image. Okay, so we have to add the layer marks. Okay, and select the brush tool like this, wipe away this area. As I said, we don't need it that much. Okay, we don't need it that much, this area, like so. And now I think our design is taking shape. So the next thing we are going to do is to add some few text. And now since it's a World Cup season, I decided to bring some the World Cup logo, something like this over here. Okay, so I'll just have to drag it inside like this, and then we are going to resize it, okay, to, let's say, the right hand side. I think that's what I did. Yes, to the right hand side like this, and then the text is going to be on the left. So now the caption says, I have the captions covered over here. So catch all World Cup matches. So looking at this concept, catch all World Cup matches, looks like World Cup is the main figure over here. Okay, and it's one of the most popular events in the world. So I would like to create more emphasis on the World Cup. Okay, because everybody wants to watch the World Cup and all. So what I did was to copy the catch-all, and I like using Montserrat. Most designers also use it. So let's push our font to the top like this. Okay, so I wouldn't mix up. Okay, and now let's paste it, catch all, and then change it to white. This time around I'm going to use Montserrat. So Montserrat is here. We need a small font, so Montserrat, and then I'll reduce the size. So for catch all, I think the size we need is, let's say, let's make it 11. 11 is fine. And mostly what I want to do is to make this thing fall in line with our text. Okay, so the World Cup like this, I'll just draw an arrow. Let me bring this image down a bit, sorry, and I have to remove this World Cup logo from this side because it might distract us. Okay, so it's not a subject, so let's pull it up a bit. Okay, good. And then we move our subject to the down a bit. I think this is fine. And now catch all is going to be here. Okay, something like this is fine. Okay, and in order for us to create more emphasis on the World Cup, I decided to give it much more emphasis. So I just created a shape rectangle to drew some rectangle over here, something like this. It's good. And now you have something like this. Okay, let's move it up a bit. As you can see, it falls in line, so we can also turn off the so we want something like this. Okay, let other text will show up. So now let's add our another text, that is the World Cup. And you can see whenever you place it on, it doesn't really look good unless you change it to, let's say, black. Okay, and I use a special font for the World Cup that is called Talika. You can get it on the font. Okay, and something like this is good. Something like this is good. So I'll just have to resize it a bit and make sure it's well centered in this rectangle. Okay, so it's nice and nicely placed here. So consider catch or World Cup. So World Cup is like there's more emphasis on the World Cup. Okay, and we are going to add our last step, that is matches at the sunset bar. That is their location, tells resort location. So I'm going to duplicate this one like so. Okay, so I'll hold shift to move it straight away to the downside and then paste it. Okay, so we have something like this at the sunset bar. Let's make something like this. So we don't need a cup, so we just have to take it off. I think it's too big, so all we do is to reduce the size of the matches. Okay, something like this is fine. And yeah, good. At the sunset bar, same as this. Okay, so now, so there's still an emphasis that we used, that is using the sunset bar as a location. Okay, so we just give it a green color, just like the reason why I use the green is even because of the company's colors. So if you take note of the colors, you can see that we have this kind of green. So we just needed to make it much more vibrant. Okay, this time around we wanted to use a white overlay so that we can see the logo very well. So we have the catch-all World Cup matches, and then look at it, I think we are taking shape. Okay, so I think this one is much better. So after we are done with this, we are going to group all these items and name it as text and World Cup logo. The reason why we group is to make our work so much organized so that we can also identify everything that we want to do. So it looks like we are halfway with the design, but I still want us to make emphasis of the person. Okay, the person looks like it's quite down, so I'll just have to select the subject over here, go to filter and camera raw filter, and now I'll just have to increase it, the exposure a bit, try and go to texture, add some texture to it, add some more clarity to it to make it much more, active. And also, let me see some contrast. I think it's fine. Okay, this is fine. Temperance, let's sharpen it a bit. Okay, this is fine. We have made it much more better than the first, but this is good. I feel like this is good. And now we are going to add the last details. Okay, that's the subtext. So we are going to add another rectangle. Okay, let's add another rectangle like so and call it match day special. I think they gave me the information, so if it repeats, I mean, it's not any wrong thing. Okay, so match day special. So let's just say match day specials again. because it looks like they want to give some, whilst you are watching, they'll just have to give you some packages, some drinks to get and all. So you just have to resize it and make it work. Okay, so this is good. Now, so we are going to add our text over here. So let me add the text real quick because there's not much time. So we just have to also, so you can just watch, I'll forward this part a bit so that it wouldn't delay. So something like this is fine. Center it. Yeah, good. So let me reduce it. It's fine. Okay, and then I made emphasis on the live, like so. Okay, so I'll just have to increase this. Let me get rid of these lines. Yeah, good. Let me select all these, set it up. So now let's turn off there. I think we are good. Okay, so I think so far so good. We have done quite a lot. Okay, and it's looking really good. So the next thing we are going to do is to this one is supposed to, okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to add some small effects to our design. So normally I mostly use color lookup to make the design much more engaging. So color lookup, this time around I used Kodak 2395. Okay, I'll just have to reduce the opacity a bit. Okay, I think this is better. 46. And now let's add some reflections to it. So paste. Okay, you can also get these and you can see how our design is working. So with the reflections, we have something like so down. We can also reduce opacity a bit, something like so, and then we are making our design so nice. But we have to move our effect down a bit so that it wouldn't affect. Okay, let's move our heading rather to the top so that the heading will really pop up. Okay, so I also want the text to be up, and then the will also be up. You can see the text, and then the effect will affect this image. Okay, so let me group it and make it effects, because I don't want the effects to be much on the text, otherwise it wouldn't really be much visible. Well, now this is all we have for this time, and I believe you enjoyed it like I did. It's quite a journey for me lately. So I hope I'll be bringing you more of these designs. And thank you for watching. I want you to like, subscribe, and share among your people. You can give me some comments in the comment section if you have any questions, you want any resources. You can also ask me in the group. Thank you much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.